Speaking of industrial sites being close to residential areas, the community of the Southern Highlands, many are fighting a proposal for a plastics recycling facility. The Plasrefine Recycling Facility, first mooted some years ago now, but the planning has recommended it be approved and the community is mobilising. There will be a public meeting held tonight, and to tell me more, I'm joined by Wingecarribee Councillor Rachel Russell. Rachel, good morning.
Good morning, and just to clarify, I'm speaking in my role as spokesperson for Moss Vale Matters this morning.
Okay, yes. So not as a Wingecarribee Shire councillor, although congratulations on your election. I haven't spoken to you since, but from Moss Vale Matters. Rachel, tell us about the meeting tonight and what will be canvassed.
We are preparing for a public meeting that the Independent Planning Commission is holding in just 1 week. The community is deeply troubled that this process has been allowed to get to a point where the Department of Housing, Planning and Infrastructure, the state government department, has actually recommended this factory for an approval. So we're holding a public meeting at Moss Vale RSL at 6:30 tonight to help upskill the community to participate in that very important public meeting and canvass the sort of issues that are of concern in the community and assist our community to best represent those concerns.
Okay, so how do you know much about how the Independent Planning Commission's now public hearing on site or in the Southern Highlands will happen? Because I know that there was deep concern about it being an online public meeting. The IPC is now bowed to that public pressure and will have a public hearing. Well, how will that unfold? Who will be allowed to give submissions? What will be heard there? Do you know?
Anyone can register to speak. People can also attend. There'll be 3 to 5 minute timing slots. You need to register through the New South Wales portal. We will be sharing those links. Those links are online as well, and they're on the Wingecarribee Shire Council website. So people can link to speak, write a submission, and they can also just turn up to participate. We encourage as many people to participate as possible. This process has just been sloppy, Melinda. Over the weekend, the Moss Vale Matters community members who are exceedingly stressed, they live in the vicinity and they've also got a lot happening in their personal lives, have been trying to digest the recommendations from the DPHI, and we've found out things like they've referred to the draft council submission where before the community had actually helped council realise the errors in GHD's response to submissions. There's so many issues with this process. This is not the right site. You were talking about buffer zones this morning. There's no buffer zone from residential areas, but more, it's in Sydney's drinking water catchment. There's no buffer zone because this particular product that they're making, this particular industry, it's so susceptible to pollution. There's no buffer zone from what comes out of Sydney's drinking water taps in people's kitchens.
Rachel Russell, the Department of Planning has recommended the IPC approve it. It's this rather strange sort of process where the Department of Planning either recommends or recommends for or against something being approved, and then it's up to the Independent Planning Commission to actually do the approving. How likely is it, given the department has already recommended it be given the tick?
This is obviously a key question, Melinda, and it's one that I have discussed with those who've had experience in these processes. We are in with a fighting chance, but it is, there's a lot of pressure to get facilities up and running, which is why we believe this process has been so rushed and careless. And when I say careless, it's those sorts of issues like the fact that they haven't taken into account so many critical issues in regards to transport infrastructure, in regards to council's strategic vision for the area, in regards to the riparian zone that the factory is in. This is a 8-acre factory in a riparian zone with there's roller doors that the 26-metre B double trucks are going to go in through. They're talking about 2 truck movements every 15 minutes, and those doors are facing west, and we get really strong gale force westerly winds on that site. And I had someone call in the other day, Melinda, who works in the plastics industry selling this stuff. She said, I have to sell this stuff. You can't contain it within an airtight container in the car. It just gets everywhere. And when you put that in the context of the report you had this morning about how they're talking about these PFAS chemicals, the carcinogens, we need to be careful, not careless. This is not the right site.
Well, Rachel Russell, you'll have this meeting and people can get along, even if they don't know anything about this so far, they can get along just to hear maybe for the first time, although we've been talking about it for a few years now, though. 6:30pm tonight at the Moss Vale Services Club, ahead of the Independent Planning Commission's public meeting in about a week's time. Rachel Russell from Moss Vale Matters, thank you very much.
Thanks, Melinda.
That is Rachel Russell.